Greetings, Mythics. How are we all? Yes, we are back for another Edra Scrolls rambling of a storyteller. The storyteller is me, Loquacious McCarbre, or my real name is Ken Boyto. Loquacious McCarbre is my pen name, don't you know? And this fine fettle of an imp is Grocklesnook. He is from the Bottled Imp, and that is a YouTube channel. Check it out. Over 450 episodes. Fantasy goodness. We review fantasy, well, reviewed. We don't really get time to do it anymore. But anyway, you can binge watch it. 450 episodes of fantasy film reviews, fantasy book reviews, and fantasy board game reviews, plus one or two specials. So there we are. So no, this is a one-off time of 9 o'clock. Normally we do these at 10 a.m. UK time, but this is just a one-off time at 9 a.m. So I don't know, and because it was short notice, I don't know if anyone's going to be watching. Hello, Martha. Yes, it is too early. It's way too early. I totally feel for you, Martha. It's 9 a.m., which is 10 a.m. for you. Yes, it's a one-off because I'm going to a games convention today, or a games day, locally. It's an all-day event. Starts at 11 o'clock. And I thought, well, it takes me half an hour to get there. If I do my normal live stream, 10 to 11, I'm going to miss a little bit of gaming. So I thought, you know what? Why not bring it forward? Why not bring it forward a little bit? Just for this Saturday. Just for this Saturday. So how are we all? Hopefully you are all well. Maybe still in bed. Maybe not. Maybe not. The thing is, though, I guess I did plan to actually... What's my hair looking like? Yeah, you see, I did plan to have a bath before 9 a.m. But I woke up at like 8 o'clock going, oh, I still want to sleep. So yes, I feel your pain, Martha. I feel your pain. How are you, though, Martha? How is everybody? Let me know what you've been up to this week creatively. If it's related to fantasy, all the better. If not, it doesn't really matter as such, because this is the show where we just talk about creativity. We talk about your projects, we talk about my projects. And I have found it immensely helpful over the years, me doing this, because, and I hope you have as well, because obviously it's like a sounding board. When you talk to somebody about your projects, you're actually sort of working them out. So if you're stuck on one, it might, just by talking about it, might solve a problem that you've been having. I've certainly found that when doing these. So I enjoy these because they're good fun, and it's nice to know what other people are up to as well. And also, sometimes, your friends and families, they're not massively interested. I mean, they might genuinely be interested, but they might not be as well. So it's like, who can I talk to people about my projects? And also, I do this to Sally, where I will talk about my project and then I go into detail, like proper detail. And you can see her eyes just slightly glaze over. And it's just one of those things, because you're the creator, you're like going, yeah, and and it might be a book you're writing, so you go into the finer details of the characters, or you go into the finer details of the setting or the plot. And of course, it's far too much for them. Martha's put here, you're still in bed, tired, and working on a fantasy map. I like the sound of that, Martha. For my friend, and it's so big. Oh no. Well, supposed to be an island, but it became a continent. What? Of about 40,000 kilometers big. That is massive. That is massive. Did she request this, or is this a gift? But yeah, that's very impressive. When you finish it, you'll be looking back at that and going, wow, that was a massive map that I just designed. And how far into it are you? How far into it? So, there's probably a slight delay, actually. And also, so what have we got today, then? Well, as you can see, we've got Guildlands, and so gaming. Gaming is the day today. So I'm going off to play games, and a couple of reasons. One, I totally enjoy playing board games. I think they're very fun, they're clever, they're really engaging, they're good for the brain. It's like sort of solving some games are like solving crosswords, aren't they? So why do people do crosswords? Why do people do puzzles? So I always look at board games. Some of them, certainly some of them, the modern board games are very strategic. They're very puzzle based. So that's, very enjoyable. Other games are more party games, and again, that's very enjoyable as well. Martha's put a gift for my former teacher. Oh, that's very kind. Finish one province and work on the others. That's fantastic. Well, they are going to be very, very grateful. They're going to be very impressed, Martha. They're going to be very impressed. So, but there is a couple of other reasons why I'm going to this board game one today. Firstly, I haven't got a murder mystery, and I haven't got a psychic medium event, so I haven't got that either. So I thought, it just happens that I'm free to go on this all day. Normally I can't go to them. And then when you've got an all-dayer, so it's 11 o'clock to 11 p.m. That's crazy. It means that people can play longer taking games. So some games are 2-3 hours long. Some games are even longer. But it does mean that, that game that doesn't really come out onto the table can actually be played, because people go, well, if I'm there for 11 hours, I could play 2, 4, 5 hour games, which is, maybe what they want to do. Or they could play one long game and then go and play series of, lots of little games as well. So it's a great chance to play those big box beastards. The big box ones that just take ages to play. So I'm going to be bringing 3 games, 2 of which I'd really like people to play. One is Guildlands, which is Kedrick and myself's latest tabletop game that is being published this June. We had one last year, which I'm sure you're all aware of, called The Crooked Crown. So this one takes about 20 minutes, half an hour to play. This one takes 60 minutes to play, and as you can tell, it's a bigger box. So this is a tile laying game as well. So, and this is the publisher's copy, the proof copy that they got from the printer. So it's the only one in existence. Paul from the publisher is getting another one because he's updated a few things. He's made a few tweaks, like to the rule book, and a few tweaks to the tiles and things like that. Just very small, minor tweaks that won't affect the game whatsoever. But they're just little things, like we've got tokens, and it's just making some slightly bigger, some slightly smaller. So there's only going to be 2 in the country by the time UK Games comes round, and that's where we'll be demoing it. So if you are going to the UK Games, check out the Outset Media Cheatwell stand, and you can come along and demo. You can play Guildlands, which is very exciting. Martha's put, every town has their own coat of arms and different names. Every town, wow, you are going into massive detail there. That is very impressive. That is very impressive, Martha. Wow. Every town. See, I do like coming up with that sort of thing. I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because, weirdly enough, we've put a motto on each guild. So we didn't, we've not really got space to do a coat of arms. But we've got guild symbols. So you've got the road toll collectors, the merchants. That's their symbol that they're looking out for. Plus we've got mottos, just to give it a bit of flavour, really. So theirs is, merchants is trade above all. Roads are no bounds. Watch us grow is the gardeners. The druids is ours is the sight. So they've got farsight. City watch is shield thy city. And wizards is cast no magic but pure. So it's just to give that little bit of flavour, because it's a medieval type fantasy setting. And what you have to do is you have to lay tiles to score points off your own symbol. So say I was the gardeners, I'd be looking out for those green trees. If I was the City Watch, I'm looking out for the towers. If I'm the Wizards, I'm looking out for the purple towers. The roads score off the roads, as you can imagine. And the Druids and merchants, so the Druids score off the Druids' standing stones, and then the merchants score off their little marketplaces. So basically, everybody can score, all the symbols are on the same tiles or spread over a number of tiles, and you lay a tile to try and score how your guild scores. And all the guilds score differently. And all the guilds have their little different tokens. And also the guilds have 2 little meeples or workers, which are quite fun. Designed against better judgment to get out of bed. Oh, decided against better judgment to get out of bed. Have a cup of tea, Martha. That's what I've got. Have a cup of tea. I think everyone else... I don't think many people, Martha, have seen my Facebook post that we're starting at 9 o'clock. So, there you go. So you get these little workers that are all custom designed. Now, as this is a prototype, do you remember when I said that the publisher's going to make a few tweaks? Well, this is one of them. On the transfers, so the white lines, they haven't quite come out properly. So we've altered the design and made the lines a lot thicker. The Druids has come out well. So each of you gets your own little meeples as well. There you go. And Jam is here. Good morning, my lovely marshmallow militaral monologue nuts. You always enter with an entrance. Isn't that what most people do? That's an oxymoron. No, you're an oxymoron. So yes, we're just talking about... So yeah, sorry I've had to bring it up till 9 o'clock, Jam, but it's because I'm going to a games day. And the publisher has kindly lent me the game again, the prototype again. And I'm just going to show it off at this games day. So, yeah, it would be interesting to see people's reactions. It will be... We've had few people play... we've had people play test it. And they've really enjoyed it. They've thought it was a very good game. It's quite strategic. Because you're trying to score off your own guild symbols. And so each of you picks a guild. If you're the Wizards, you'd be scoring off these purple wizard towers. If you're the City Watch, you'd be scoring off these towers, the blue towers. If you're the Druids, you'd be scoring off the standing stones. The merchants off of the orange marketplaces. The roads, you score off the roads. And if you're the gardeners, you'd score off the trees. So you're looking for tiles that suits you, sir, and how you can add to your score as the game progresses. Because each of you lays a tile, or you can rotate a tile, but you lay a tile and you build up the city like that. Now, obviously, there might be a dilemma where you go, right, if I lay that tile there, it scores me points, but it scores other people points. And then also, you might just say, right, there's nothing that I particularly want to do with my own scoring, but I can mess other people's scoring up. So there is a bit of sabotage that goes on. And of course, it depends on how the players play, depends on how much sabotage there is, or how much people just concentrate on their own scoring. Plus, you do gain gold. On the roads, there are these colours, different colours, 4 different colours. And if you match three of these colours in a row, the person who put the third colour in the row down, or in the route, I should say, because you could have it where it's like that. So say that yellow was a blue. That's confusing. Then because you've got 3 colours, can't hold the tile, it's really difficult. Blue, blue, blue. Then you would gain, if you laid that last blue, you would gain that gold. And you can spend your gold, your little gold coins, coglets, little gold dragora. You would spend these coins to then actually take another action. So it's got strategy involved. So every single turn, you should be able to do something meaningful. And that's something that we want to bake into games. That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Jam. Martha's put, hi, Jam. Silver is teasing Harry for not liking sailing. I don't know. He's been making mead. You've obviously been looking at other live streams. How dare you? So as well as the little geeples, you do also get, if you're the gardeners, you get fountains. So these are the fountains that you can play. You get, if you're the druids, you're going to get the shrine, and you can play that. If you are the city watch, and these tokens help you get more points, basically. You get 4 of these little walls, which are pretty cool. All custom made. Love it. Then if you're the road tile collectors, you get a bridge, and this helps you to continue your longest route, because that's how you score. The market, you get a little pop-up market, and you score off of other people's symbols. And if you're the wizards, you get 2 towers that you can place over other symbols, and they then become wizards' towers, and so you can use them as part of your scoring as well. So it's a nice game. It's I would say it's mid complexity, and it plays 2 to 6 players. So obviously it's good that it's got a 6-player count, because when you go to games, if you've got a games night, you know, if you're really into gaming, a lot of people go to board game clubs. And of course there might be, you know, 10, 20 people there. So obviously if you can accommodate a lot of players with one game, that's got massive appeal. So there we are. So that is Guildlands. That is Guildlands. So if you, as I say, if you're coming to the UK Games Expo, I'll be demoing this there. Very excited about that. Very excited indeed. Let's see. Oh no, I put it on back to front. I don't know if you're like me with games, but I like to put the cover matching the back, so that when you turn it, it's the right way around. So yeah, so it's really exciting, because Kedrick and I have spent many hours designing this game and developing it. Many hours. It has taken us, when did we first come up with it? 2021 maybe. So it's a 4-year game in the making. It's Ollie's LARP, where we both play rogues. Oh, fantastic. I thought it might be something like that. How dare you watch other live streams? Grockle Snurk, don't make me say that. Grockle Snurk made me say that. And also I'll be taking the Cookie Crown. Now, the Games Club, I think, have already played the Cookie Crown. You know, people know about the Cookie Crown down there. So that'll be exciting. And also, this is a good opportunity, as I say, because it's 11 a.m. to 11 p.m, this is a good opportunity to, and I've put it in a big plastic box now, to play test. Look at this big box. It doesn't have to be in this box, but it's going to protect it better when I transport it. Jim plays a thief, and I play a smuggler, which is so much fun to do. Ooh, it is. Being thieves and rogues and smugglers in RPGs is a lot of fun, because you can do things that, you know, that go against the plot, if you like. You can do your own little shenanigan things. So I like playing the rogue or the thief, because you're kind of, you can sit, if you're neutral as well, you can kind of sit in between good and evil. So you might be okay doing some shady stuff, but not too shady, if you know what I mean. So that's always fun. To sort of get away with stuff is always fun, isn't it? So, yes, Devilish Deaths. I'm going to be hopefully running maybe certainly 1, maybe 2 games of this. My Devilish Deaths murder mystery, deliciously difficult murders to solve. And I'm hoping that we can get like as many players, but this plays 2 to 6, and it's interesting when you do play testing. I thoroughly recommend you play test it with as many variation player counts as you can, because you might go, oh yeah, this is a game for 2 to 6 players, because that's just in your head, or you just might as a default say, oh, it's 2 to 4 players, and then when you play test it, might not work as a 2-player. Might not work as a 2-player. It might not work as a, or you might not have a 2-player variant, thinking it isn't going to work with 2-player, and then you play it with 2 players and go, oh, that actually did, that was a 2-player game. And that happened to me. I was round at the publishers at Paul's the other day, and he said, oh, do you want to play a few games, and play test a few games? I was like, okay, cool. And we tried one game that we really both enjoyed, but we played a dummy hand because it's a 3 to 4 player. And we're like, oh, that's not unheard of. There are 3 to 4 player games that are very specific, but we just wonder why the designers put that in. So we played it, and we played a dummy hand, so it's 3-player. We both enjoyed it. And then we thought, it was like, well, why wouldn't it be a 2-player? Why wouldn't it work as a 2-player? Then we kind of worked out why the designer wouldn't have done that, and we thought, well, actually, if we just tweak it a little bit, maybe it can be a 2-player. So we tweaked it a little bit. It wasn't by a lot, and it seemed to work as a 2-player. But then again, I did say, yeah, play test this lots more as a 2-player, because the designer may have a really, really genuine reason why it can't be a 2-player that we just haven't seen. Yeah, and also we were like, why can't it be a 5 and 6-player? Now, I do know some games come out as a 2 to 4-player, and then along the line, if they're popular, they get a 5th and 6th, expansion added to it. In fact, I think Carcassonne was like that. They are both in a criminal gang in Ollie's worlds. Yeah, that is brilliant. Yeah, as I say. And also, I guess with RPGs, you can, if you're playing a rogue or an assassin, it's nice, it's cool to play something that you can't do in real life, isn't it? Isn't that why we play RPGs? So yes, so I am playtesting Devilish Deaths at this all-day games club. Now, 2 to 6 players. Now I have, so before I playtested it with a 3-player game. I think it was a 3-player game before. Then it was a 4-player game. Then I had a 6-player game, which was really useful, obviously. And then I think I had a 5-player game. And then, and I was getting loads of good, valuable feedback. And then I did it as a 2-player game. I didn't plan on that. There was only just 2 people turned up to this playtesting event that I go to, evening that I go to. And I'm really, really grateful that the 2-player was playtested as well, because it does work as a 2-player. And they both found it just as engaging as if they had 6 players and all of that. So that was very, very valuable feedback. So I'm hoping, so it doesn't really matter how many people playtest this. However, it's a long game. It can take between 2 to 3 hours. So I'd much rather 6 players play it, or 4 players, 5 players play it, because then I feel like I've got more players that are going to give me feedback, if that makes sense. Good evening, Lee Rin. Yes, how are you? Here at Tiny's Original Characters Design Festival. Got a bunch of adorable watercolour forest animal friends postcards. That sounds fantastic. And even played a round of traditional African farmer board game, Mancala. That sounds great. Traditional African farmer board game. Coming back for round 2 tomorrow. That's brilliant. For the native Taiwanese mythology theme board game. That sounds fantastic. That sounds brilliant. Good evening for you. Yes, I've had to move it an hour early. It's only going to be for this Saturday, because I'm going off to a board games day today. And as I was just saying, I do want to playtest my Devilish Deaths murder mystery. And I do want to unleash our new tile-laying game, myself and Kedrick Winks, published by Outset and Cheatwell. going to play it with the public for the first time. We got the printers sent the proof copy to the publisher, and Paul very kindly lent me it for today, and then we're going to show it to people, hopefully create a bit of a buzz. So yeah, so I've now updated all the rules, so here they are. So this game is a big box game. It certainly is a big box game. And after today, with the feedback from the players, hopefully there won't be any changes. That people will just be happy with it, and that it's pretty much nailed. There might be one or two tweaks to it, but then I'm pretty confident that people will enjoy it, and I won't need to make any more changes. Then I'm going to be submitting it to the speed dating at UK Games. Now what that means is that publishers and designers are put in a room together like speed dating, and you've got 5 minutes to pitch your game to the publisher. After 5 minutes the bell rings, it's really funny, and then all the publishers get up from your table and move on to the next one, and you get the next one, and you do that until all the publishers have been round all of the tables. And then if they're really interested in taking it further, they will say, can I see you later on or tomorrow, or, you know, how long are you staying at UK Games? Because I'd really like to see the game for longer. You know, I'd like to maybe play test it a little bit, maybe, you know, have a demo of it. So that's very exciting. So Kedrick and I did it last year with our Titanic game, and we did have a few companies interested that saw, you know, that wanted to see us afterwards, but unfortunately nobody actually signed for it. Jam has put here, hi Lyra, my prestige and respect Alliancia warrior master. Oh, I see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Witty warlock, razor sharp verbal wit. See, for me, it is too early for me. My brain's not even functioning yet. Lirin, whatever I can try to participate in Indigenous culture themed events out of respect for diversity of brothers and sisters, humans being across the world, and it takes form of board games and musical instrument induction, yeah, all the better bonus. Well, that's fantastic, and that's why I love reading, films, music, board games, customs. It's your culture, isn't it? And what better way to experience someone else's culture, but it is through their art, you know, through their board games, through their creativity. You know, that's what we have in common as well. So even though there are very different cultures, we've all got cultures. So it's nice to get involved with other cultures. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Done. Oh, done. So Martha has just counted all your dice. That is fantastic, Martha. 922. That is fantastic. That is a massive collection. Have you got them all in a big jar? How do you store them? Have you got them individually in different packets, or how does that work? I wouldn't know where to begin with 922. I found myself, and I can totally understand how you've got there with 922, because when I started playing D&D, that's when I started getting back into dice, and I was like, oh, these are nice, oh, these are nice, oh, these are nice. I got metal dice, and you just, before you know it, you've got like, I don't know, 15 sets, and it's like, where did that come from? And I had to purposely put the brakes on and say, no, I'm not going to buy any more dice. But even now and again, that urge comes to me, and it's like, should I buy that set of dice? It's really, really nice. So I am all prepared for the gaming day. I have all the locations where the sleuths are going to be investigating. This is case 1. So we've got the corridor, the lounge and bar. It all takes place in a hotel room number 2, etc., etc. Today, says Jam, I do the final battle of Witches of Kara. Got about 15 illustrations ready as well. Fantastic. Fantastic. So you've pretty much finished it. That's really good. That is fantastic. And you've already got about 15 literature. You're ahead of me now. Well, I think you always were. I think I was slightly catching you up at one point, but you are ahead. Not that it's a competition. However, it is quite good actually, just to know that someone else is out there writing a game book. Like the fools that we are. Only art-wise. Yeah, well, I'll give you a little update on my one in a second. But yeah, I've still got all my illustrations to go. We also have the statement. Oh, what's this doing in here? Luckily, I looked through that. We also have the statements of all the... Oh, what's this doing here as well? This shouldn't be here. We also have all the statements. Of all the suspects, all the witnesses. And when you go to guess, you get 3 guesses of who did the murder, why they did the murder, and their opportunities to the murder. You then take who you think it is. So if you think it's Henrietta, you take this statement. Now in the final game, they're going to be sealed. And you unseal it, and then you read out whether she's guilty or innocent. If she's guilty, hooray, you've won. If you guess correctly, yeah, you've won. If you guess incorrectly, you do miss the whole round. So the game shortens. So you've got 3 tries, 3 guesses, and the game is played over 24 hours. So if you want to guess, you all agree it's a cooperative game, and you go, right, we're all going to guess it's so-and-so. Then you move the hour clock forward 1. And if you guess wrong, you lose prestige points as well. So it is a bit of a punishment if you guess incorrectly. You get 3 chances. Then if you get it completely wrong on your 3rd chance, you then open the police report to then find out actually what happened. Because in the early versions of this game, I didn't have that. I had the envelopes for the suspects, but then I thought, oh yeah, what if you don't guess it correctly? You're going to have to open all the other envelopes to find the correct one. So that's the beauty of playtesting, because sometimes you just don't think of stuff, and then it comes up, and you go, oh yeah, I better put that in. I think I might count them all over again, just for me, because I'm that mad. How do you store them though? How do you store them? Mancala was traditionally played 3,000 years ago with smooth river stones. I think I've heard of this, representing the seeds between 2 farmers, who in a deceptively simple yet elegant process of displacing seeds try to outgrow the opposition's crops in battle of crops circulation. It was apparently high stakes enough that the winner can dare the opposition into a humorously embarrassing act of tomfoolery, naturally popular at harvest festivals. Oh, that sounds really beautiful. That sounds really cool. I like the sound of that. I might have even heard of that. Not sure. I have... Oh, hang on. Is that the one? I think I've got it, but I don't know what it's called. Is that the one that's a long wooden structure, and then it's sort of got cutaways, like little bowls, and then you move stones into various bowls? Is it that one? Because I've got that, yeah. Martha said, I have the sets in the boxes, and the loose ones have got their own bag. I have almost 50 sets and over 200 loose ones. Wow, that is incredible. Bingo, says Lirin. That's the one. Yes. Oh, I forgot what it was called. Yeah. Yeah, I've played that a couple of times. I've not played it loads, but I've played it a couple of times. We enjoyed it. It's a 2-player game, I think, isn't it? No, still in the boxes they were brought in. Oh, okay, yeah, fantastic. No, that's good. I just wondered how you would store so many dice. But yeah, if they came in their own boxes... And of course you've got loose ones you can just put in a bag, can't you? Plus, also with this game, each plays a different sleuth from the 1920s. And each sleuth has their own unique extra ability that they can do. However, it does cost you a hunch token. There are only 6 to start with in the game, and you will need hunch tokens for other things as well. So if you want to do a third action on your go, because you can do 2 of 4 actions, then you need to confer with your fellow sleuth to say, I really want to investigate another clue. My ability allows me to do that. Can I spend one of the 6 hunch tokens to do that? So it adds a little bit more of a conundrum. Should you do it or should you wait? I've also made little player stands now. So I've really been upping my the actual prototype, because before I just had little meeples for these, but now I've got the player stands that match the actual cards. So there we go. And of course, if you can go by the colours if you wanted to. So these are quite cool. So you'll be moving these around the hotel. And the way that I've designed the game is that it is actually what's the word? Don't know. It is actually themable in any theme, because the board itself has no clues on it or anything like that. It's all the game is run through cards. So what you do is you put the location cards on these big ones, and then this is the board. Obviously I can't make a fancy board that folds up. I had to cut it all up. But you put the witness cards on around the board, and also you've got the prestige clues cards. So all the cards sit beautifully onto the board. So when you put all these pieces together, it's one big board. It kind of looks like this. I've got another board now actually that I've designed. So this is the evidence board. So if you look at clues throughout the game, everyone puts their clues on here, so that during the game, someone goes, "Oh, what was that clue in the casino? Let me have a look through the clue cards," and then you look through the clue cards to see the one you wanted to look at again. So this is the evidence board. So obviously, I can come up with 1,000, stories and murder mysteries, cases for players to solve, and then write them on the cards. So it's actually the cards that are the murder mystery. The board is neutral. So I can now do... Yeah, exactly. I could do a murder mystery on a cruise ship. Absolutely. Semi-warm tea. I could do it in the future. I could do it, on a pirate ship. I could set a murder mystery in medieval times. So there's lots of flexibility that I'm hoping a publisher will really like that idea. So my vision is that you have 3 or 4 cases in the base game, in the box, the first game that you buy, and then you can just buy the expansions for half the price. You buy new cases. Levin has put, it's sometimes claimed that the original Tom Fool was Thomas Skelton. He was a jester, a fool, for the Pennington family in Manchester Castle in Cumbria. Yeah, I think I knew that as well. This is probably about 1600. He's said to be the model for the jester in Shakespeare's. That's probably why I know it. In 1606, in legend, he was an unpleasant person. So they were probably making fun of him then. Shakespeare was probably making fun of him. Jammer's Bit, one story tells how he liked to sit under a tree by the road. Whenever travellers he didn't like asked the way to the ford over the River Elsk, he would instead direct them to their deaths in the marshes. That doesn't sound pleasant, does it? Oh, a humanoid will-o'-the-wisp and scavenger. That scoundrel, says Lee Wren. How about a murder mystery on a ship? Yeah, exactly. That is a great idea. Aye, boo to him. There's a spider in your mark. Don't you start with the spiders, Jam. It's too early for that sort of shenanigans. So yeah, so I'm very excited because... Oh, and the other thing that I would recommend playtesting your game is to playtest it with lots of different sort of types of people, if that isn't too... No, it's not too offensive. Of course it isn't. We're all different types of people, aren't we? I'm an idiot, for example. Let me just see if I've got this board back in the right place. Different kinds of gamers is really what I mean. So... If you know casual gamers, which might be some of your friends, some of your family maybe aren't into games, you know, but they might play test it for you. That's really valuable because it depends what type of game you're creating. I hope that this game appeals to both sides of the line. It appeals to casual gamers and it appeals to hardcore gamers because murder mysteries is very popular with the mainstream. I mean, you look at the success of Cluedo, for example. This is like Cluedo on steroids, basically. And I needed it to be intriguing and engaging enough for the gamers who are used to strategy games, who are used to complex games. It needs to be engaging enough to hold their attention. Equally, it needs to be simple enough for a casual gamer just to kind of casually play it. And I think I've achieved it because what I've done is you have 2 of 4 actions that you can do. And one of them is investigate a clue, investigate forensics, question a witness, and you use your innate power card. There's these cards that you get that you can use. They're like action cards, you know. And you can move, but move is not considered an action, so you can move as well. So it's not too complicated, and all the actions are virtually doing the same thing. Picking up a card, reading it for evidence, and then discussing it with your fellow sleuths. So it's not like you're having like a worker placement game where you're having to figure stuff out and build an engine. It's not that kind of puzzle. So I think it's going to have broad appeal, which would be fantastic because, you know, you want a game to do really well, and you want it to break out into the mainstream. You know, if you want to make a lot of money, if that's your goal. So that would be really nice if that happened. So what I'm looking for today is, and also when you play test, it's a good idea to have what feedback, you know, what are you looking for in this play test? So for example, I'm going to be looking closely at the hunch tokens. As I say, hunch tokens, you get 6 hunch tokens communally between all the players. Now that's a new addition. Before, everyone got their own hunch tokens, they spent them as they wanted to. So I'm going to be looking at that. Are there enough hunch tokens? Are there, you know, can they gain enough hunch tokens? Because there is a way to gain hunch tokens. And the other way to use your hunch tokens is to actually, on the cards, it would say, so-and-so, you sense that so-and-so, you know, one of the witnesses that you're questioning, knows more. Do you want to spend a hunch token to push them, you know, to question them further? So if there's only 6, and you know, there's like maybe 15 hunch tokens that you can spend... Is it, you know, have I got the balance right? Is it too hard now or is it too easy? So things like that I want to look at. What else am I looking at? There was something else. Can't remember. That's how prepared I am. It will come to me. But yeah, so when you play test, I mean, it depends where you are in the play testing. Oh yeah, I want to look at the movement because again, that's a new thing to this version of the game. Before I had the movement as an action, and in the last playtesting, the 2-player playtesting, they're gamers. They're used to playing complicated games and they love board gaming. So they said, yeah, having a move as an action, I didn't feel like I was doing anything. I moved it onto the room and that was it. So now I've taken away that as an action and you can just move up to 2 rooms and that will speed the game up as well. So I'm looking at the movement, I'm looking at the hunch tokens. Martha wants to sleep more. I don't blame you. And Lee Rins put, a hunch token to pull a Columbo press on a witness. Just one more question. Absolutely. It's that kind of thing. Yeah, I wanted that feeling. Because I also thought that, you know, in real life, not that I've ever investigated a murder, but surely there would be witnesses or suspect witnesses that might want to tell you more, but not in front of everybody else. So if I've got other witnesses in that room, I thought maybe if you were, you know, that they would, if you spend a hunch token, you know, so I feel like they want to tell me more, but they're holding back for some reason. So you kind of spend a hunch token, and then they might say, let's go to this room over here, and I'll tell you a bit more. So it's that kind of feeling that things are happening in real time as you play. The other thing that I've got is that the witnesses move around the locations. So again, you feel like it's actually happening. Things are actually happening as you play the game. Things unfold. It's not just a static story, if that makes sense. Against better judgment, I've moved to the sofa. You may fall asleep there. So yeah, and the common thing that I'm getting from all the feedback is that people really find it engaging. They really enjoyed it. In fact, somebody that I know playtested it last year still said to me the other day, oh, I remember that board game, you know, the murder mystery game of yours. Yeah, it was such good fun. I really had a lot of fun. And I said, well, I'm writing, you know, hopefully I'm going to be writing more cases. So, you know, you can play test those as well. I guess that's the thing. If you've play tested it, you'll know. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that actually. I'll have to get different people to play test different cases, because then they won't buy the game, will they? Because they'll have played all the cases in the game, which will spoil it for them. I saw an Apple store get burgled once. The police detained me as an eyewitness. Hey, I haven't got the bell. Ding! No, that doesn't do it. There we go. So yeah, so I'm really excited about that. Oh, and also this is a new edition. This is new. I've not play tested it with this yet, because what I found was that there's a lot of cards in the game. And initially, it was like when you get a clue or forensics or a witness, you put it in front of you as your cards, and then everyone has their own set of cards. But it got really unwieldy how to organise those cards. Some people did it by clues, some people did it by location. So it got really unwieldy, and I couldn't work out how to manage people's cards. Somebody suggested having a list of all the cards, and then you tick off which ones you've done, and that didn't really work. So, because it's too much admin. So here, this should be quite a good solution. Once you've read the card out, you put it on here, and then if you want to access it anytime during the game, you can look at it. So that, and it also means that if someone says, I've got to go, and they leave the game, it doesn't really matter, because all their cards are actually on the evidence board. So people can drop in and drop out of this game as well. That's the other beauty of that. Not that you really want people to drop out, and you'd hope that if they had to go, it wasn't because they didn't find the game entertaining. It was like, I've only got an hour, I've really got to go, you know, or an emergency comes up and they have to go. So there we go. So, and I'm very impressed with the fact I've made a board that does that. I mean, hello, look at that. It was by accident, but I was very happy with that. I've made a bendy board. So there we are. And then just one last thing we shall talk about, because it is, it's coming up to 10 o'clock, and I need to jump in the bath to sort out my bed head. Cheers. Nearly cold tea. It's just drinkable. Very good, Jam. Making a board game is twofold. Very good, very good. Yes, Devilish Dilemmas, the game book, To Kill a Thief. Wow, what a journey this is, isn't it, Jam? Writing a game book. I have written 312 entries of roughly 400, so I'm about 75% there, which is fantastic. I hope to finish the first draft by the end of March, and that leaves April to get everything else done. What I am doing, most people have backed the project, I would imagine, for the book, not necessarily because of the other stuff. You know, that helps, but they want the book. So my prime goal is to get the book finished for May, and then I'll concentrate on the other things as well. I think that's the best thing to do, because the other things should be quite quick, because I've got 20 or 30 illustrations to do on this. So I'm hoping to get all that done during April, so that when playtesting, so April, I will require, hopefully, people would want to playtest the book, and so I'll send them the copy, and then they can playtest it. I've got a friend, Claire, who's very kindly offered to proofread it for me and edit it. Plus, I've got Sally, who's again very kindly agreed to proofread it and sort of edit it. So they're going to be doing that. They're not going to be worrying about broken links or anything like that. They're literally just reading each entry, and it's out of order, so they won't get the story. It's all over the place for them, but they're looking for typos, you know, spelling mistakes, grammar, that kind of thing. The playtesters, I'll say to them, don't necessarily worry about grammar and spelling, but if you do spot some, brilliant. But concentrate on if the gameplay, does the game work? Do the links work? Concentrate on that. So hopefully that will come back to me in April, and then I can typeset it and get it to the printers and back by mid-May. That's my plan, because I do have a book festival that I would love to have there, so that I can, you know, not only send it to the backers but also have it on sale for the book festival. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Jam has put, hey, I'm on 312 right now. No way. Look at that. Synchronicity. That is amazing. And yours is going to be about 400 as well, I think, isn't it? Remember, all the extra stuff you said, hi, it is, will get... Yeah, no, oh, absolutely, Martha. I haven't forgotten about that. Oh, absolutely. Everybody will get everything. It's just that I feel like, you know, and I said May. But having never written a game, I didn't really know how long it would take me. It's taken 3 months, I think, 4 months to write it. Small world, turning as one. Then, you know, the game book is the main thing. So if I get all of that done for May, then I feel like I've hit the target. Then I'll concentrate on all the other stuff. Absolutely. So the other stuff might be a bit later, but I feel like people would rather me get the game book to them than to get postcards to them and get, you know, metal things and all of that. So everybody will get everything. It's just that it's going to have to now be slightly, you know, because I don't do this full time. It's frustrating for me, because I'd love just to be working on this all day. However, I can't do that. So everybody will get all the stuff. Idea of postcards of kin. Oh, yeah, exactly. Everybody get all the stuff. It's just that you won't necessarily get it in May, but you know, June, July. So I don't see this dragging on and on and on and on, Martha. It should be all tidied up by June, July, I would imagine. That's my plan anyway. So there we go. So things are starting. The seeds that I've planted, talking of farmers, are showing signs of shoots, and in the case of Guildlands, actual flowers. Well, yeah, postcards are cool. Absolutely. Somebody bookmarks as well. Bookmarks are cool. I think bookmarks are on there, aren't they, Martha? So I might just do a set of bookmarks for everybody, just as a thank you. If they're not part of a tier reward. If they're part of a tier reward, then I won't do them for everybody because it's not fair for those that booked, book that tier reward. If they're not, then I will do them for everybody. I think, just as a thank you. Because obviously, I don't remember it all. Yeah, exactly. I can't remember. I think the postcards or the bookmarks were part of a what do they call it? A stretch goal, I think, but we didn't get to. But we'll see, because the thing is, when you do a Kickstarter, yes, it would have been amazing if I'd raised, £100,000. That would have been amazing, because then I would have, I would have just been able to, I wouldn't quit my job. I wouldn't be able to just write that full time. Not just yet, but I would do that. I'd do it normally, but then I'd have hopefully some money that then maybe I could go full time as a writer. And therefore, the next one that you do, you'd write it in a shorter amount of time. But that didn't happen. It's not, it's a new author. It's very rare that happens. So, like Jonathan, you build it up each year. So hopefully word of mouth gets out that, these game books are good. When's the next one? Can I back the next one? Yes, thank you, Martha. Thank you. I appreciate the time. We still get custom dice. Remember that guy? Yes, custom dice. Exactly. We are going to get custom dice. We are going to get those custom dice sorted. Absolutely. Yeah. I want the custom dice as well. I want all of that I put out there. I want myself, and I think that's a good way to run a Kickstarter. What would I want as a player, as a reader, as a player? And it was custom dice. I really like the metal plates, the metal posters. So that's on there. I can't remember now the other things, but they're really cool. Oh, the badge, yeah, an enamel badge. So there we go. So it's all exciting. I'm really looking forward to doing the illustrations. I'm really looking forward to finishing this in the next couple of weeks. And I'm really, really looking forward to starting the illustrations. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. So yes, Martha's quite rightly pointed out the time. Thank you for reminding me. It is 10 o'clock. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the time change. It was just for today. Next week we'll go back to the normal time of 10 a.m. And, that's UK time, where we'll be rambling some more. So thank you. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. Whatever you're up to, hopefully you'll have a wondrous and joyous time. Thank you. Well, Grocklesnook's also saying goodbye. You're watching. What's that? Ghosts. You're watching ghosts? I can't actually make out what those are. See you and Lord Conan Dungan. Yes, exactly. This Wednesday, well remembered, we are doing part 7 of The Dungeon on Blood Island by Ian Livingstone. Very good book. It's very enjoyable. Thank you, Lee Rin. Thank you, Jam. Thank you, Martha. And thank you to anyone else that watched. I really, really appreciate it. If you want to follow the channel, please follow the channel. It all helps with the algorithms, apparently. And check out the Edra Tales YouTube channel, because I put all these live streams over on there because Twitch now doesn't save them, basically, to cut a long story short. So check out the Edra Tales if you miss any of these and you wanted to catch up, or if you just want to rewatch. Who knows? Good night, everybody. Yes, laters. We still haven't seen our friend. Who's our friend? We still haven't seen... Who's our friend? Jonathan? Who? We've got lots of friends, Martha. Don't leave me hanging. Who do you mean? Ollie? The dwarf. Oh, yes. Sorry, you meant in here. Yes. Yes, Martha, you're absolutely right. We were befriended, weren't we, by a dwarf right at the beginning. And he said, yeah, let's stick together. And then, circumstances split us apart. And we've not seen him since. Let's hope he's not found the golden orb of Fang. Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely weekend. Until next time, and may your thieving never be caught.